G'day, folks. So we just finished watching season 1 of Stranger Things, and I really loved it. What about you?
Surprisingly, I did too. I wasn't expecting it at all.
I could tell just from like the pictures and the trailers and that it looked like it was going to be right up my alley, like with the 80s feel and the music and just the look of it, and it lived up to my expectations. I was hoping for it to be really good and dark and moody and atmospheric and tense and suspenseful, and it was all of the above and then some.
Well, I thought it was going to be scary, and I was right.
Yeah,
it terrified me
we
multiple times each episode.
yeah, it was like I even though like horror doesn't really like scare me or anything, I still really enjoyed the feel of the mood and atmosphere of those types of movies,
Mm.
and this show really had that. It felt like an 80s horror movie. And like we did an initial thoughts video, and in that video, like I was loving it up to episode 3, and now we've just
Yeah.
watched the other 5 episodes, and
Hmm.
it was just as good. In fact, it even elevated. I'd say it even got better by the end. I really,
Yeah.
I really felt for the characters, and
I
I
loved the characters.
yeah, they were great.
What a great cast.
Great cast,
Oh,
well written, great dialogue, felt very natural, and I've got to say,
it didn't even feel like dialogue.
mm,
It really did feel natural.
and I got to say, this show was full of characters who had such pure hearts. It's
Oh.
so nice to see in a show. I'm not a nihilist or a cynic. I like to, try and find the good in people, and this show was full of just people who are very like selfless and heroic,
Hmm.
especially the kids, man.
Oh,
They love their friends so
yeah.
much they were willing to risk their lives to save their little buddy, Will Byers. The girl was such, even though she was super dangerous, she
11.
11.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be a spoiler review, folks. But I'm sure most people have already watched Stranger Things. If you haven't, stop this and go watch it now, and then come back,
Yeah.
please, and continue watching. But yeah, she sacrificed herself for her friends, her new friends. She didn't even know them that long. But
Hmm.
like, there's a scene also where Michael Wheeler, they're at the top of the quarry, and the bully
Mm.
guys, the bad kids,
Oh, that was so
they have his friend
stressful.
Dustin, at knife point, and are threatening to cut his teeth out, right?
Mm.
And they say he will let him go if Michael jumps off the quarry, and it's so high up, it's going to kill him if he jumps, and he's willing to do it
Mm.
without hesitation to
And he
save his
jumps.
friend.
He actually
He
jumps.
jumps, and he's saved by 11 and her amazing psychic powers. But that's not the point. The point is he didn't know that was going to happen. He was
Hmm.
willing to die to save his friend,
Yeah.
and also his friend Dustin was even willing to let his teeth be cut out to save Michael,
I
because
know.
he's like, "Don't worry, Michael. I don't need my teeth. It's
Yeah.
okay. Don't jump."
Oh, how
Like they
great.
were all such great friends. It's the
Yeah.
kind of friends you wanted as a kid
Yeah.
that you wish you had
And they're all friends in real life
in
as
real
well.
life. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's apparently they are,
And
and
I
you
think it
felt it.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and the kid who plays Lucas too, he was willing to go off on his own to try and save his little buddy Will.
Yeah.
And that was just, oh man, it's heartwarming. It's a heartwarming show. It's not cynical like, that everyone's just, no one gives a shit about anybody. It was a show where, it's about family and friendship and loyalty and love. And I feel like those were the driving themes of the show.
Hmm.
And it was like
Yeah.
wrapped in a sci-fi veneer, you know, but that wasn't the main core of the show.
No.
It was
That.
about the bond of the characters.
And I think that's what kept me going because I don't like anything thrillery or anything that will scare me. I don't mind gore, but the suspenseful,
Mm.
not knowing what's going to happen next, and but the good vibes kept me going through all the scary bits. It was worth the nightmares.
Yeah, because the themes were so strong. These positive themes were so strong in the show that it just outshone everything. And it was great also, it was like an added extra having this great plot of us, an interesting sci-fi plot about alternate dimensions and universes and that. That was just a great added extra. Like I would have watched the show even if it was a drama. It was that well done. Also, another character that I loved is Jonathan Byers, Will's big brother, who, as I've stated in our other video, just is so nice to see an older brother that doesn't hate his younger brother, isn't mean to him and treat him like he's a nuisance. He loved his brother so much. Again, willing to sacrifice himself to save his brother. And Nancy Wheeler was willing to sacrifice herself to save her friend, Barb. Poor girl, may she rest in peace. She seemed like a nice girl, but she was killed by the creature. But Nancy was willing to go in there and save her. Everyone in this show is like a good person. They don't show that much in shows now. Like after watching Game of Thrones,
there are a few bad.
there are some bad. Yeah, but you watch Game of Thrones, and how many characters are redeemable in that? Not many. There's a few. I would have said Jon Snow up until season 8. But then he pretty much let King's Landing be torched. But another character that was redeemed in the first season, Steve Harrington.
Yes.
He came across as like a douchey asshole bully sort of jockey guy.
I did pick it though.
But yeah, I was getting vibes. I was like, I wonder if this guy's gonna turn out to be a good, decent bloke. And he was in the end. He ditched his asshole friends, and he went to save the guy that potentially he thought was stealing his girlfriend. He still went to try and save his life. Jonathan Byers. And he fought the creature.
He saved his life, really.
Saved his life. And he went and cleaned up the graffiti that his mate did.
Yes.
He's a good bloke too.
So guilt does do.
Yeah. So I didn't, like, it didn't, I would have been pissed at Nancy being with Steve Harrington at the end of the season if he hadn't redeemed himself like that. But because he did, it didn't bother me. I was like, yeah, well, he's earned it.
Well, she wouldn't. I don't think she would have been with him if he'd continued that way.
No way. I still sort of think she might end up with Jonathan by the end of the show. And I hope that doesn't create a rift with Steve, because I like where Steve's become a good guy now. I don't want him to go back down a bad path. So I hope, these characters that I now love because they're such good people, I really hope they don't
mess with them.
Don't mess with them in season 2. I have heard some people say season 1 was great and season 2 was a letdown for them.
Oh,
so
no.
yeah, I have heard that. I have heard that. But at least now our expectations are a bit lower for season 2. So hopefully we won't be disappointed, because if I didn't know that, I would have gone into season 2 with super high expectations, because I really enjoyed season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about Joyce and Hopper. They were great characters too.
They were, yes.
Acted so well.
The emotion felt from those two, and also from 11.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes.
I didn't even know who she was until this show, and now I'm like, man, watch this girl, future Academy Award winner. This one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You could feel the pain in her eyes. You could. She was so expressive, and she didn't have to speak.
And believable, yeah. Yeah.
Just, I want to put her in our den.
You want to adopt her?
I want to adopt her.
Yeah, if I could have a daughter,
yeah,
seemed like a nice girl, but that power is really dangerous. You don't want to like get on her bad side.
Oh, that's a good point.
You don't want to like have to wake her up early for school, and then
alright, she can just
she rips your house in half.
Oh. Okay, she can stay in Fantasyland.
Oh yeah, no, but she seemed like she was a good character too. Really well written, brilliantly acted.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Hopper was such a great character too, multi-layered. I really felt for him. I really like, he's one of my favorite characters in the show. You could feel the pain. He had pain underlying, underneath his veneer, but he was keeping it strong for himself and the town and that. But and then it was very sad when they showed what happened to his daughter. That really gets to me. Anything to do with sick kids is tough to watch.
I think
But
the flashbacks were written well. It
they
wasn't all
were
exposed in
no,
one moment.
it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cliched, and it only happened. I noticed when things would trigger him, which
Yeah.
makes sense because that's how memories and flashbacks are in real life.
Yeah.
Usually, it takes something to trigger. Sometimes they come randomly, but a lot of times it's certain
Triggered by
things.
something, yeah.
Be it something you see or smell or it could be anything can trigger it. Any sensory thing can trigger a bad memory or a good memory. So that was played really well, not as cliched as it is in other sort of shows and movies.
Yes.
And Wynona was fantastic. Who would have known the little girl from Beetlejuice? And was such a good actress. She
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah. I never liked Wynona, but
I did.
am a fan now. Yes.
I
we
used to
know.
as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the special effects were good too. Like the CGI on the monster wasn't the best I've ever seen, but I
Yeah.
think there were some shots that was man in suit, and that looked the
Yes.
best.
Yes.
Like when there's a scene where it shows
I think
when
he was
11
over.
was first in the experiment, I think, and she made first contact with the creature. Remember, it was all black when she was in the isolation chamber, and she went and touched it.
Yeah.
That looked like man in suit. That looked really tangible and really real. That looked great.
That did, and also when she found that the creature was with Barb. Oh no, I'm remembering
Which
that
scene are you
wrong.
thinking?
No.
When Nancy went in, and the creature was stalking her in the woods. That might have been man in
No.
suit. Some of the attack scenes.
Oh yes.
Some of the attack scenes towards the end of the season were CGI, and it wasn't the best CGI, but it wasn't it wasn't bad enough to take me out of the show.
No.
It was still it
I've
was
seen worse in blockbusters.
oh yeah.
Aladdin.
Yeah, yeah, it's worse in Aladdin. Absolutely, and that had a huge budget.
Yeah.
No, but like even like when the title sequence starts, you always want to skip it, but I'm like, no, I want to watch it. It puts me right in the mood for the show. That music is fantastic.
It is. Yeah.
I've seen YouTube channels bloody rip it off and use it for their intros, but it's just so moody and atmospheric. That music, it's so eerie. I love
That's
it.
why I want to skip it.
And the title
Because
title
it's so
sequence with the
creepy.
glowing writing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that Dr. Brenner
Oh,
did.
Matthew Modine, another great actor with a good performance. Yeah.
He hardly did anything, and he was more menacing than
Jafar
Jafar.
or
in-
Snoke.
Oh gosh, he
Yeah.
he didn't really have to do anything, but he just you could feel his evil.
You know,
Horribleness.
it's funny. You watch that actor, Matthew Modine, as a younger guy in movies, and he's complete opposite. He's not menacing at all.
Oh
He
really?
comes across as like a skinny, sort of harmless guy. Yeah. He's
I can't manage.
he's a good actor,
imagine it,
but he's a
no.
very, very good actor. It's good to see him in like his career. I think he's had a bit of a career resurgence lately in TV and that. So that's good because he's always been a good actor. But yeah, just man, I can't say enough good things about the show. I love the themes, I love the acting, I love the visuals, the atmosphere, the mood of it. It's like I'm in the 80s again. Oh, special mention to the Wheeler parents, like the most clueless people in the universe. Especially the dad. The dad's like, huh, what's going on?
I thought my parents had no idea what was going on.
There's even a scene. Do you remember a scene in like one of the first few episodes where they're at dinner and there's like all shit going down and the dad's like still eating and the mum's like, "Oh, you enjoying your meal there?" Do you remember that?
No.
Oh yeah, I think the kids were having like some kind of the kids were like letting off all this steam and saying all these revelations to the mum, and the dad wasn't even paying attention. He was just like eating his dinner.
Oh well. mirroring life.
Oh, really? Hey, if the meal's good, sometimes you block out what's happening, you know?
My meals must be great.
Oh, they are. They're fantastic. The best.
Best ever.
What? What is that a
I
reference
have
to?
no idea.
You try to do the comic book guy from The Simpsons or something.
Oh, maybe.
Best dinner ever.
Yes, that was
That
good.
good.
Thanks.
Sorry, that was a bad impression too.
That was...
But it's better than yours.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, the parents, but they played well as well. You know, sort of just a bit out of touch parents with a
Yeah, they played
teenage
it well.
daughter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they're going to be much more involved in their kids' lives after the events of season one now.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, I think so. That's the other good thing. In this movie, the families didn't hate each other, and I hate seeing that in movies where kids hate their parents, parents hate their kids, siblings hate each other. The families, even though they had disagreements and arguments, they loved each other, and they really cared about each other.
Yeah.
You know, even the clueless dad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Was there any other performances or anything else about the show you want to add to it that stood out to you? Oh, how about the scene where Eleven flipped the van? Man, that was amazing.
Yes.
Just like you felt the weight of that scene, man, and the weight of the van.
I spaced out for a second during that scene, and then all of a sudden there was a van flying through the air. I'm like, what did I just miss? What just happened? And then I was looking and trying to find how that would have happened, and then I'm like, oh, right, she's got superpowers. Her nose is bleeding.
That's right. Yeah, that was the cue.
Yeah.
That look she would give when she was doing her powers, man.
Freaky.
Oh yeah,
Disturbing.
She really sold it. No, like just this, that determined look she had when she was doing, but yeah, even though the show had already like far out things happening and fantastical things happening, that van flip still got me. Like, wow, it still wowed me. Even though it's not the biggest set piece I've ever seen in a movie, but this show had so much weight behind it. Everything felt like it meant something and had a lot of backstory leading up to it, and the stakes were high. And so when it happened, I really felt that something dramatic was happening. Because you just don't feel it in other shows that don't earn that level of caring about it.
Yeah, it didn't ever feel like they were just trying to fill in time.
No, everything was...
Every single thing meant something and was taking you somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it
was very tight. This season 1 was tight. Tight. Very tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. You loved it.
I loved it. I did prefer not being able to see the creature.
Yeah. But you didn't see it straight away.
No.
Took a few episodes, which is good. They built up to it.
Yes.
Actually,
once I did see it, I stopped having nightmares. So I don't know which one I prefer. It wasn't as effective once I saw it for me.
That's true. No, that's how it is. I agree with horror. The less is more.
Yeah, which is why I could never watch The Blair Witch Project.
Because
Because
it's in my top 5.
Yeah.
If you want to check out my top 5 horror movies, I have a video about that. And Blair Witch is in there.
Yeah.
Look, they're already not going to watch it now. Blair Witch gets a lot of hate.
Oh,
a lot of people don't like it. Yeah, because you literally see nothing.
Oh. All I know is that
that's
the Dawson's Creek episode of The Blair Witch Project creeped me out.
I'm already creeped out thinking about that. Who the hell would watch... earth would watch Dawson's Creek?
Oh, yeah,
God,
not me.
Only losers would watch that.
Yeah, no, never seen an episode. What? Dawson's what now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I loved Dawson's Creek.
So did I.
And I still do.
I don't anymore, but I did once then. When it came out, I used to watch it religiously, yes.
Yeah.
But, I could never watch it. Oh, we tried. We
did
tried
try
last year.
Yeah.
I think it was last year. We watched the first episode again, and wow, it was rough. I could barely get past the opening theme song.
Yeah. No, that part was good. that brought back some pretty good memories.
Ugh.
Anyway, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Much better than Dawson's Creek.
Yes.
And I'm sure
Absolutely.
will age a lot better in 20 years if it's rewatched. Because the beautiful thing is, it's not that it's timeless, but because it's set in the 80s, it won't age as
Yeah.
much.
It's not
Because
like
the
it's
80s
out of
is
fashion
locked in
now.
time now. Yeah.
It really did feel like I was in the 80s. Like even down to the Tupperware 80s Tupperware
Oh, see, I
container
never noticed that. This,
that
yeah,
Hopper
you're,
had.
yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, 80s Tupperware, yeah."
Well, you're an expert and connoisseur in Tupperware.
Oh, I do love
Yeah.
Tupperware.
Yeah. I'm an average. I was more watching him just loading up on whatever was in the Tupperware. I'm like, oh, I hope it's something nice,
Yeah.
like little cheese pies or something,
What's a cheese pie?
like those Greek ones.
Oh, those triangles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those things. I was like, I hope it's them because I'd like them right now. Yeah, but it wasn't. Oh, and then he put a pack of waffles in there too.
Yeah,
for
her
11.
Eggos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eggos. What a weird name for waffles.
Honestly, I am very impressed with the show.
Yeah.
And the kids, like, I really can't.
Lucky you mentioned that. I don't think people know that we like it. Yeah, sorry.
No,
You were
because
saying.
I just keep having more flashbacks of different scenes where the kids are just even we were saying when they were reunited with Will, he'd woken up
Oh yeah,
and
that was a
they
nice
were all
scene.
just trying to explain to him at the same time.
Yeah, it was like a flood of consciousness was just pouring out of them of
All at the
what
same
happened,
time.
and that's how kids talk.
Yeah,
It really
was
is.
so good. Like, oh
from experience, I can say that's how kids are so excited to tell you what happened. It just pours out of them, and they talk over each other,
yeah, and they don't take a breath.
and they don't take. Yeah, exactly. So
But
that
it's
was
so
that was
exciting.
written really well. That scene, very accurate.
All of it was on. They really took the time and put in the effort.
Because you see other shows like kids will take their turn in talking like on cue,
does
and that's
not
not what they're
happen.
like in real life.
Most adults don't
They're
do
just
that.
I know
with
most
their own kids.
yeah. It's like someone once pointed out to me the formula. Apparently, there's a formula in these like those cop shows and the medical dramas. Whenever there'll be a bunch of characters standing around, they each say one line to contribute to the conversation.
We should try
They'll
that
just say
now.
one line each, and I think I tried watching a show, and it pretty much lined up like that. That's what they were doing. They were saying one line each. Like each character would had like an equal amount of dialogue in each scene.
So,
What?
are we gonna do that for the rest of the review?
Oh right, yeah. Gonna have to delete a lot of my lines then.
No, I'm joking. We won't put you through
I
that.
talk way too much. Sorry, folks. But it's like how I noticed. Actually, I don't know if someone pointed it out to me or if I noticed it myself, that in soap operas like Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, and Young and the Restless, and all that, people would be having conversations in rooms and they'd never sit down. They'd never sit in the chairs or the couches or whatever. They'd always just stand up, like opposite each other, like 2 feet away from each other. They'd just stand up and talk.
Yeah,
And I was like,
really
who the hell does that? It'd be like, imagine if you're at home and you're talking to your partner or whatever, and you're both just standing up in the middle of the lounge room, like 3 feet away from each other, just talking. Who does that? No one in these shows ever sits down.
But they were sitting in this show.
Oh, they were. Yeah, well, this wasn't a soap opera.
No.
But
And
anyway,
this was a good show.
but people watching this, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But have a look at those soap opera shows, as hard as it is to sit through them. Watch. That's what people do. No one sits down to talk. Everyone just stands around talking all the time. The only time you stand around talking is at a party or something. No one does that at home in the middle of the day. Yeah. Well, I've gone off on a tangent now.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do we think is going to happen in the next season?
Oh, yeah. Not
I
like
mean,
we accidentally read any spoilers or anything.
Yeah.
No, the only thing's
No.
like, look, when I was looking for pictures to make the thumbnail from our earlier Stranger Things video, I saw all these pictures from season 2, so it was a bit spoilery. So we know, we know that 11 is back
Yeah.
because I saw her with
And
hair.
now she's back.
Yeah.
From outer space.
So weird seeing her with hair. I'm used to her like with a shaved head now.
She looks good with a shave.
Yeah, it actually suits her. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, were there any other spoilers or any predictions for next season for you?
I just remember seeing all that slime going into Jonathan's mouth when he was being attacked by
Oh
the
yeah,
monster.
and then Will coughed up another
Yes.
slug,
So I think,
and that's our cue to leave. But we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up there. Yeah. So look, it appears that it's not over for the buyers' boys, unfortunately, and it looks like there's probably going to be more of those creatures in that world. I doubt it was one of a kind. But man, it was hard to beat. The only thing that could beat it was 11 and her psychic powers. So they're going to need her to fight them off again if they come back in season 2. Anyways, as we said, we love the show. Yeah?
yes,
Yes.
I would watch it again.
What, this season 1?
Yes.
Wow, that was good. Like, I love shows, but I can't just rewatch.
No, I'm not
Season
going to watch
1
it
straight
again
away.
now.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'd watch it again in the future.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll leave it there. It's a great show. If you've never watched it, check it out. And can't wait to watch season 2, and we'll review that when that's finished. And on to season 3 coming out in about a month. So thank you for sticking with us this long if you have. And please like, share, and subscribe. Leave us some comments if you are so inclined. God bless you all, and we'll see you later.
We should practice that for next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye.